The time is now 7:47. Good evening and welcome back to the June 26, 2025 Prince George's County Board of Education meeting. I am Brandon Jackson, Chairman. To hear the meeting interpreted live in Spanish, please call 508-924-5155. Again, it's 508-924-5155. Please focus your attention on the screen to hear this announcement in Spanish.
Hay una línea telefónica simultánea disponible para las personas que desean escuchar la reunión de la Junta en español. Si desea escuchar la reunión en español, llame al 508-924-5155.
Thank you. For those of us who are unable to observe now, the meeting is being streamed live on our PGCPS channel. Board Member Jongo, could you lead us in prayer?
O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance, steer us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. Amen.
Ms. Barton, please call the roll.
Dr. Anderful, Ms. Boozer-Struther,
Present.
Mr. Briggs,
Present.
Mrs. Brown,
Here.
Ms. Goins-McCants,
Present.
Mr. Jongo,
Present.
Dr. Moss,
Present.
Ms. Olivo,
Present.
Ms. Walker,
Present.
Mr. Jackson.
Here.
We have 9 board members present.
Thank you, Ms. Barton. If there is no objection, the June 26, 2025 meeting agenda will be adopted.
I would like to,
Board Member Boozer-Struthers,
Thank you.
you'll be recognized.
thank you. I would like to ask for 15.9 in the consent agenda to be moved to general order, the adoption of the budget, and 15.6 interim superintendent's contract. Thank you. $16.
Point of clarification. It's actually point 17 for this interim superintendents.
Thank you for the correction.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'd also like to, oh, sorry.
Board Member Walker.
Thank you so much. I apologize. I'd also like to pull item 15.16 for charter schools. Thank you.
All right, the numbers are pulled.
Mr. Chairman,
Dr. Moss.
in addition to Board Member Walker's 15.16, I think for the good of the order, 1514, 1515, just all of our charter schools that are up for renewal tonight. I believe we wanted to include all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moss. Seeing as there are no more lights. All right, the numbers are pulled. Are there any corrections to the May 8th, 2025 board business meeting, May 29th, 2025 special board meeting, or June 12th, 2025 board meeting minutes? There being no meeting minutes objections, they are approved. The chairman recognizes the communications team for the PGCPS Spotlight, the graduating class of 2025.
Good morning, accomplished graduates, family, and faculty. First, I want to say congratulations to all of the class of 2025. I know that getting here was a roller coaster of events and emotions, but despite all the struggles, you are here today.
I would first like to thank my family for their constant sacrifices, time, and effort.
We have worked so hard to be standing right here, or sitting, but we must tell ourselves that this is only the beginning. Let's take a moment to recognize the staff and teachers who have motivated us throughout our 4 years here. The ones that made us laugh and smile, submit our work before 11:59, and the ones who always reminded us to come in uniform.
We started this path filled with questions. Can I do this? Will I find my people? Who will I become? Along the way, we found answers, sometimes through challenges, sometimes through achievements, but always through growth. Look around. This class has future doctors, artists, business owners, engineers, leaders, but more importantly, it has people who care, people who show up for others, people who make the world a better place just by being in it.
By being here today, you've demonstrated that you have the skills necessary to go wherever you want. The rest will be determined by your hard work, your determination, and your care for others. As you always hear me say on the morning announcements, show up on time and take pride in your work, and I promise good things will happen to you.
And whether your path leads you down south, out west, up north, right here on the East Coast, or to global sites around the world, go out and be the best version of yourself. Give your very best to the world and let the world return the favor. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Graduates, at this time, please turn your tassels from right to left.
So I would like to take this opportunity during the community shout-outs to recognize District 6, 2 scholars from District 6, Akila and Isaiah. Are they present tonight? Please come to the front. Let's give a round of applause for them. Tonight, we proudly recognize 2 exceptional young authors and illustrators, Akila and Isaiah Smith, for winning first place in the 48th Annual Writer Book Competition hosted by PGCPS and the Office of Library Media Services. Akila's book titled, That Smells Good, The Sweet Tooth, and Isaiah's, That Smells Good, The Big Win, both earned top honors in the illustrated fiction category. Their creativity, hard work, and storytelling are truly inspiring, and we encourage all students to continue participating in the meaningful program. Great work to you two both. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pictures? Come on, board. Come on, board. Let's take pictures. Now I'd like to recognize Vice Chair for his community shout out. It says District 2 Vice Chair.
All right, thank you so much, Chair Jackson, and good evening to the Prince George's County community and family. As you all know, I'm Vice Chair Jonathan Briggs, District 2 Board Member. Tonight, I'm honored to recognize a story that speaks to the power of belief, partnership, and possibility. A story born right here in District 2 of College Park Academy. This year, College Park Academy launched its very first tennis team. That alone is worth celebrating, but what happened next, well, it made history. In their debut season, CPA's girls doubles team made up of Victoria Taylor and Sydney Pounds went up against seasoned programs across the county and emerged as county champions. That's right, first season, first title. But what's even more powerful than the win was the journey. Victoria Taylor has been part of the College Park Academy family since 6th grade. When high school came around, she had one request: to continue playing the sport she loved since age 5, tennis. So her family reached out to College Park Academy leaders, the athletic director, even coaches, and what they heard wasn't hesitation, it was hope. And that hope turned into action. Coach Lou stepped up with passion and humility. Athletic Director Mr. Foreman provided unwavering support, and College Park Academy students and families rallied behind a new vision. The result? A championship season filled with grit, grace, and hard work. This is what it looks like when we say yes to student voice, when we build something with our families, not just for them. To Victoria and Sydney, thank you for your courage, your leadership, and your pride. To College Park Academy, thank you for believing in what you could do. And to all our schools, let this moment be a reminder: when we listen, when we partner, when we dare to try something new, remarkable things happen. So this is what makes us PGCPS proud, and let's give it up one more time for Victoria Taylor, Sydney, and the athletic directors at College Park Academy. Thank you.
Here? No.
Board Member Amy Olivio.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Olivo, and I'm so proud to represent District 4. This evening, however, I'm honored to speak on behalf of District Board Member Dr. Tiffany Andreful, who unfortunately could not be here with us this evening. She would like to take a moment to publicly recognize the outstanding accomplishments of the Laurel High School Spartans boys basketball team during the 2024-2025 season. The Spartans captured both the PGCPS County Championship and the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association Class 4A State Championship, an extraordinary achievement that brought home Laurel High School's first state title in 45 years. Their final game on March 15th at the University of Maryland ended with a 68-53 victory and forever cemented their place in school history. Dr. Andreful had the pleasure of visiting the team and the coaches at the school following their win, and although they are not with us here tonight, they absolutely deserve this public recognition. The team is not only composed of the young men who played on the court, but also young men and women serving as managers. The team worked so hard to secure this win, and during lunch with Dr. Andreful, some shared that what this experience meant to them. One player, and now proud PGCPS graduate, stated, "It was honestly the best day of my life." And another said that he learned the value of fighting for something and earning it despite the setbacks. Many of these young men, all of these young men, have bright futures ahead, with several of them having college basketball careers on the horizon. Laurel High School has made all of District 1 and PGCPS proud, and on behalf of Board Member Andreful, congratulations again to the Spartans on your incredible season and establishing a lasting legacy for all who follow. And then I have my own District 4 community shout out as well. I am also thrilled to spotlight an incredible achievement in my district. Please join me in celebrating the Templeton Elementary School for winning the 2025 Prince George's County Science Bowl Championship this past April. Templeton competed against 32 elementary schools across Prince George's County, showcasing not only academic excellence, but also teamwork, determination, and impressive depth of scientific knowledge. This championship win is the result of months and months of preparation by these brilliant students, their dedicated coaches, and a school community that supports and uplifts them. Although the team couldn't be here with us this evening, I had the privilege of visiting Templeton, where I met the outstanding students, educators, administrators, their parents, and even an older sister who came out to celebrate with them. I'm so grateful to Templeton for opening their doors and allowing me to bring a small token of appreciation on behalf of Prince George's County Public Schools Board of Education. So congratulations to Templeton Elementary School and our 2025 Science Bowl champions.
Board Member Goins-McCants.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, PGCPS family. I'm Zakia Goins-McCants, board member representing District 8, and tonight I am thrilled to highlight a powerhouse from District 8, a team that didn't just compete, didn't just win, but actually made history. So we're going to celebrate the indoor girls track and field team, who closed this past season as regional and state champions for the first time in school history. And to highlight some of the records that the team won, Jillian Stevens shattered school records, Taylor Riley shattered school records, and together with Ava Coleman, Carlene Lionel broke the Spirit Medley Relay record and placed 7th at New Balance Nationals. So out of the entire country, just one spot shy of All-American records. There are a few people on this team, so I don't want to leave anyone's name out. Jillian Stevens, Carlene Lionel, Taylor Riley, Autumn Gravette, Krista Saunders, Maya Slade, Ava Rankin, and Ava Coleman. And a special congratulations to Taylor and Jillian for winning regional and state and county championships, both of them in multiple meters. And of course, none of this would be possible without their exceptional coaches. Congratulations to head coach Tim Riley, who was named Washington Post All-Met Girls Head Coach of the Year, and Coach Emmanuel Barnes for their dedication and vision. So congratulations to the entire team. I believe you all are here tonight. Are they here? Chair. I know we got notification very early this afternoon that you all were here. Are you all still here for us to give you your awards? No. Thank you.
Okay, there will be no unsung hero this evening. Moving on to the chairman's report. We are pleased to announce the standing committees. They are as follows. Academic Achievement Committee will be chaired by Vice Chair Jonathan Briggs, Vice Chair Pamela Boozer-Struthers, Amy Olivo, Zakia Goins-McCants, and Felton C. Moss. Policy and Governance will be chaired by Dr. Moss. Vice Chair will be Amy Olivo, Jonathan Briggs, Lolita E. Walker, Robin Brown. OBAFA will be chaired by Zakia McCants, Vice Chair Robin Brown, Lolita E. Walker, Dr. Tiffany Anderful, and Ari. Board Audit Committee will be chaired by Dr. Tiffany Anderful, Vice Chair Pamela Boozer-Struthers, Ari Ajake, and Brandon Jackson. And Board Superintendent Evaluation will be chaired by Zakia Goins-McCants, Dr. Felton C. Moss, Robin Brown, Brandon Jackson, and Jonathan Briggs. Parent Advisory Committee will be chaired by Lolita E. Walker. Disability Issues Advisory Board by Amy Olivio. Climate Change Action Plan Ad Hoc Committee by Pamela Boozer-Struthers. And PGCPS District Steering Committee of Community Schools, Dr. Felton C. Moss. Thank you. As we come to the close of another school year, I want to take a moment to reflect on all that we have accomplished together, This year has been filled with both challenges and triumphs, and I am incredibly proud of the progress we have made across Prince George's County Public Schools. We have continued to move forward with a purpose and a deep commitment to our students' success, and I want to thank you all for what you do. Now I'd like to invite you all to turn your attention to the screen. Tonight, we pause to recognize a truly extraordinary group of individuals, employees who have dedicated 50 years or more to Prince George's County Public Schools. Let's give them a round of applause. Over 50 years. Are they here? Are any of them here tonight? Come on down. Let's go. And I heard that the Oxon Hill group is here too, that Board Member Gordon McCants had mentioned. We're here. We have some certificates for you all as well. So can you come to the front? Moving along, this is our last meeting of the year, so we want to recognize all the great people that support us. And it's not a one-man show or just the Board of Education show. We have a lot of different people to make sure that this PGCPS that you see before you tonight, man, it's a lot of people to go behind, that are behind the scenes to help us through. So right now, I want to acknowledge the security team. Please keep your attention on the screen tonight. This department works tirelessly, often behind the scenes each and every day, to uphold safety and the well-being of our students and staff, whether managing school security operations, responding in times of crisis, or building trust with families. Their dedication, professionalism, and care are a cornerstone of our success. Their work is critical, their commitment is unmatched, and our entire community deeply values their presence. We are proud to recognize their outstanding contributions tonight. Please join me in a heartfelt welcome of our security team. Can y'all please come up here to the front? All right, on a more somber note, on behalf of the board, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to board member Jamal Jongo for his dedicated service as a student member of the board. We got you. We have a video nailed from the office staff, after which we will open the floor for remarks for the board members.
Jamal, you've represented students with grace and conviction. Your voice, leadership, and dedication have truly made a difference. We want to extend heartfelt gratitude for your incredible service as the 44th student member of the board.
We are proud of you. Thank you for all you've done.
Okay, so now I will take comments from the board as well as let me let you go first, man. Go first.
Okay. Definitely just want to first say I want to thank God for the opportunity that I've been given to serve as the 44th student member of the Board of Education. This year has had a lot of ups and downs. I've learned so much. I've gotten to meet so many people. Of course, I've got to work with the great board that are next to me. I also want to say thank you to the board members that I was here with in the beginning also. You guys have, all changed my life and helped me see a different perspective. Sorry, a little scared. I also want to just thank, the SMOB Advisory Council. That's 52 members from all around the county that came united to be able to celebrate events, make sure that we're, representing every single part of the county. And of course, I want to say thank you to my campaign team, my campaign manager, Emmanuel Chinweze, Farouk Adesanu. I want to say, thank you to all the student board members. Of course, my next student member of the board, Erlu Ajakai, was my chief of staff for the SMOB Advisory Council. So I want to thank her for, always keeping me on track. Of course, I have some SMOB Advisory Councils in here. Alzina Jones, who will be serving as the next PGRAS president for the 2025 to 26 school year. I just want to thank everybody for, their impact in my life. And of course, I will not make you proud. And also, I just want to, state for the record, I'll be attending Temple University in the fall.
What's your major?
Oh, political science with a minor in economics.
You got that economics in there. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll take comments from the floor. Okay, Board Member Walker.
It's fitting that I say thank you on behalf of District 9. So thank you so much for your service. I wanted to let you know that despite, our go-rounds and the good, the bad, the ugly, you truly did bring the students' voice to the table, and I think that's very much appreciated. So in case your students didn't know out there, Jamal really takes it to heart and makes sure that we know every single thing that we must do. So on behalf of District 9, we simply say thank you.
Dr. Moss.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this gentleman, or what should be said, but there's been a bit of debate around which road you should take when you travel up to Temple, and I hope that my comments tonight will remind you of the road most traveled, and that's the one that you should take. He knows what that means. Chair Jackson and I are of different persuasion, and we have different intentions in life, but I hope Jamal will make the right one when he heads up to Temple University. Do not forget the men of Alpha Phi Alpha when you get there. But Brenda's gonna get me in the end here. But no, I appreciate you. I appreciate your leadership. I appreciate your brain. You just said to me a few minutes ago, I'm gonna go be a lawyer because you weren't. So I hope you accomplish that, and you can come back and be the board's attorney whenever you get your law degree. All right?
There we go.
Thank you.
Is that Board Member Brown?
Yes, I wanted to make sure I thanked your mama and your dad and your family, because they allowed you to come out and, support the work here and support the county that you serve. But I also want to just give you great adieu because I know you're going to be successful. I know I'm kind of like a second mom to you when I come here, or when you come here. So just know that even if you're at Temple, my husband went there. So if we got to take a trip, we'll make a trip. But I know you'll be successful, and I'm just super proud of you.
Is that Zakia?
Thank you so much, Chair. I will try to keep this brief so that the public doesn't see just how much we enjoy working together, especially with Jamal. It has been an honor and a privilege to work with you. I so deeply respect the way that you bring your not just your ideas, but also you thank the SMOB Advisory Board, you thank students, but how much you actually bring in what students have been telling you across the county, and so incredibly appreciate that. Have appreciated your leadership on the Academic Achievement Committee. I don't know what every student member of the board across the state is doing, but having you and your leadership in that particular role has been amazing. I've learned so much from working with you in the student perspective of academics, because unfortunately or fortunately, by the time we get to this age, sometimes we have been very jaded in terms of what we expect out of education and academics specifically. So thank you so much for all of your work and your grounding, especially in that space.
Board Member Boozer Struthers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamal. Thank you so much on behalf of District 3. I know how much the student leaders of Northwestern High School and International High School Langley Park have appreciated how you connect with every school, how you appreciate leaders in each school. Every time I would see you, you would be with a student from different schools and districts all over this county. And that really spoke to, your special brand of leadership that you brought this year. I've so enjoyed working with you. Always appreciated your insights during every board meeting, and I wish you the best of luck at Temple.
Vice Chair Briggs.
Jamal, I'm going to keep this brief too, but I mean, it seems like yesterday that you started with us, and I don't know if you feel this way, but I mean, the year went by like that. I mean, we had rain, and then we were excited about you, and now you're headed off to college and all the exciting things that are coming next in life. I really echo what my colleagues shared. I think that you brought so much enthusiasm, excitement, and I think levity to the group. And it's great because this work is hard, as you know, behind the scenes. But I think you're also really equipped as you're heading off to college. You are going with not only the ability to be a leader in your own right, but I think also all the skills. You can probably talk about parliamentarian procedure, you can talk about, other things, and I think many of your friends and peers will be looking at you with blank stares because they'll be like, how did you get there? So continue to capitalize on the success, the leadership, and all the things that you're doing. We're rooting for you to, the sentiments that were shared. You have a home here all the time, so I'm excited for you.
Thank you. And if there's no more comments, I'll just end with my comment. Jamal, it's like a little brother to me, here. He's an amazing guy. And so when we always hear so much negativity about this upcoming generation, it's these bright spots, and these are the stories that need to get elevated with kids like Jamal that gives us hope, that tells the real story of a lot of the youth that's coming through PGCPS, that he's brilliant, he's so clever, and he always has a servant heart. In every situation, every conversation that we have, he always reminds us where we need to focus, and it's always on the kids. And he always brings that voice to the conversation. And I know it was supposed to be a learning experience for you, but I think we've all learned from you being here. And you showed us always get back to, what's important. It's making sure that we take care of the kids. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's give a round of applause for Board Member John Gall. At this time, I would like to take a moment of silence as we honor the memory of fallen PGCPS staff, family, and community members. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll take a moment of silence. David Billings, relative of Brandon Jackson. Teresa Symington, transportation attendant, Goddard bus lot. Thank you. And I do want to officially give Board Member John Go an award for his outstanding service here as a SMOB member. So can you come to the front? Let us take a picture as well. board informs the public of the following upcoming meetings. Please turn your attention to the screen of the list of meetings. Please continue to check the board webpage for updates and more information. Now moving to public comment. The chairman recognizes the registered speakers for the public comments. To our registered speakers, you are allotted 3 minutes to share your remarks. Speaking time may not be transferred to another individual. The board will not engage in dialogue during this portion of the meeting. Speakers are expected to refrain from using profanity or derogatory language. A warning will be issued once. Continued misconduct may result in the speaker being muted or removed from the meeting. To support a professional and courteous environment, speakers are encouraged to refer to individuals by titles such as chair, board member, superintendent, or principal, rather than by name. This evening, the board received 51 public comments requested from individuals who wish to speak in person. Due to the allotted time of 15, we only have 15 speakers tonight. The chair encourages those who are not able to speak to submit their comments in writing to testimony@pgcps.org. Again, the email address is testimony@pgcps.org. All right, we have 15 live speakers, but before we move to our speakers, I do want to pause to recognize any elected current or past officials in the room. If y'all want to stand and wave, please. All right, this is Edward Burrows, Curtis Valentine. Thank you so much. Who was that? And Loopy Grady. Our first public speaker tonight is Courtney Smith, student, Gwynn Park High School. Our second public speaker tonight is Curtis Valentine, individual and former at-large board member, speaking on leadership.
Good evening, Chairman Jackson, Vice Chairman Briggs, board members. Feels good to be back. I stood here 2 years ago on my last day as a board member here and haven't been back since. Spent 10 years of my life here in this board room. I gotta lean in. And this is probably the longest meeting of the year, so I'll pray for you all. But over those 10 years, I realized the two most important functions of this board was the budget, set the priorities for the system, ensure that we're investing in the right things based off of research and data and the voices of those we represent. But the second most important is ensuring that we have the right person at the top, the right leader, the person who's going to be held accountable for ensuring the resources that we put in place are allocated in the right place, the right leadership is in place to carry those things out. And that's why I'm here standing in support of Dr. Sean Joseph, someone I work with closely, someone over the time that when he was here, I could call on anytime I wanted to. When I came here, I had two personal priorities. One, to ensure that men in education were prioritized. Because the research told me, in my own experience as an Oxon Hill Middle School teacher, was that we make a difference in children's lives. And when we decided to create the Men of PGCPS, he was one of the first people I called. And he showed up every single time to every meeting to listen to what the concerns were of male educators. I'm looking over at Dr. Coleman as well, because he was there at every meeting as well. I also said I wanted to really prioritize parents. This idea that fathers oftentimes felt that they were second in line, but research showed, Dr. Moss, that if we had fathers involved, it would have a tremendous, and every time we had a fatherhood forum event, Dr. Joseph was there. I also understand that the school that my children attend, Frederick Douglass High School, was almost in jeopardy of being closed. He played a very integral role before he left in ensuring that we had a P-TECH program there to ensure that we had enrollment, that my two children attend that school now in District 9 and will graduate with an associate's degree. I also followed him when he went to Tennessee. Followed very closely how he was making gains in math and reading in ways that other districts around the country couldn't. And also the controversy around his leaving. And so as I stand here in the time I have left, All I ask you to do is what I'm going to do. Hold him accountable when he gets here. Hold him accountable for what he says, but also reach out to him every chance you get to sit down with him and find out how he can improve the things that you care about the most. We're going to hold him accountable as parents, and that's all I ask you all to do as board members. I thank you all for what you all do. Have a good night.
Atasha James, Individual Legends Public Charter.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board members. I am Atasha James, co-founder and CEO of Legends Charter School. Leading Legends has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. And I know for sure, without a doubt, that this is bigger than me, that we are in fact making history with the children at the center. I often say to my scholars, a legend is who they are and what they will be. At Legends, we are dismantling the status quo. We are using proven, standards-aligned curricula from BASIS and the District of Columbia Public Schools, delivering rigorous academics rooted in what we know works. But what we're doing more than that, we're breaking bonds of poverty through our financial education, identity-affirming culture, and bold liberatory leadership. We are clear-eyed about what we're strong and where we must grow. There's no denying opening up in COVID, being the new kid on the block during severe legislative upheavals, our fourth superintendent, we've been dealt our fair share of challenges opening up and maintaining our membership, a strong membership of over 900 scholars. Hiring teachers during a great resignation was no easy feat, but we withstood every single one of those challenges and prevailed. Our waiting list still boasts hundreds for very few seats. I also need to note here, we are committed to continuous improvement and developing Legends into the world-class organization we know that we designed it to be. And potential of every child who walks through our doors, we see them as promise. We see our babies as truly our future. We also know that in order for us to do that, we must urgently reimagine how charter schools are regarded and supported here in Prince George's County. Our success is tethered to the district, and to meet this moment, we need courageous collaboration and shared support for our innovation with HR, people accounting, technology, and finance. We welcome your partnership and extend a heartfelt invitation to visit Legends. Come see for yourself what's possible when equity lives in practice, not just in policy. The best is yet to be. Thank you for your time.
Portia Cameron, Individual Legends Public Charter.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. My name is Portia Cameron, and I have the honor of serving as the Chief of Staff at Legends Charter School. But tonight, I also come before you as a deeply invested parent. My own child is a middle school student at Legends Charter School, and he's thriving in ways I could honestly never imagine. I spent over 20 years in public education, nearly a decade of that as the head of a Tier 1 school. I know what excellence looks like, and I see it every day at Legends. Legends was founded with a vision to create something exceptional, an academically rigorous, culturally affirming, and opportunity-rich environment for the children of Prince George's County. In just 5 years, we've grown from 592 scholars to 900. And today, we have a wait list of families who are eager to join our community. That kind of growth doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of commitment, innovation, and belief. Our model mirrors the world-renowned BASIS curriculum and is built on foundational belief that every scholar is tag-worthy. Through departmentalized teaching, even as early as kindergarten, our educators bring content expertise that drives both depth and engagement. We've offered financial education, integrated social justice themes, and infused our school culture with high expectations and real-world access. Our students infuse our school culture with high expectations and real-world access. Our students aren't just keeping pace, They're preparing to compete not just locally, but globally. We also understand that excellence is not static. While our academic outcomes have had highs and lows, our team is laser focused on aligning curriculum, supporting educators, and ensuring no child is left behind. Our attendance rates exceed the district average, our use of exclusionary discipline is minimal, and our families are active, informed, and engaged. We built a strong financial foundation with a healthy cash reserve, and we've actively tightened governance structures to ensure full alignment with all charter and legal requirements. We take feedback seriously because we know our mission is too important to settle for anything less than continued growth. James Baldwin once said, "For these are all our children. We will all profit by or pay for whatever they become." At Legends, we refuse to leave the future to chance. We are investing in it boldly, intentionally, and with love. Thank you for believing in our scholars. Thank you for believing in Legends.
Amina Williams, Individual Legends Charter.
Good evening, board members. My name is Amina Williams. I speak to you tonight as a co-founder of Legends Charter School, a proud parent of both an LCS alum and a rising sixth grader, happy birthday, Asa, and a proud Prince George's County resident. I stand before you today not just to advocate for our charter renewal, but with the sincere invitation to recommit to what's possible when we dare to imagine and reimagine education through the lens of excellence, equity, and community. At Legends, we've changed the narrative. Our scholars, many of whom start with us in kindergarten, are building stock portfolios before they even master cursive. They're immersed in a rigorous liberal arts curriculum taught by subject matter experts from the very beginning. And they're developing the skills and confidence to compete not just locally, but globally as 21st century learners. But this is not just about innovation, it's about outcomes. Legends has consistently outperformed district averages in math and reading. We've met enrollment targets every year since opening in 2020, and we've done it while employing 65 Prince George's County public school teachers, over 20 legendary staff members, and 30 AmeriCorps members annually to create a thriving academic community that uplifts the whole child and their families. And I want to remind the board, we opened our doors in 2020 during a global pandemic. We launched this vision in the middle of crisis, and we've remained steady in our growth and innovation ever since. Do we have work to do? Absolutely. But we are committed, we are reflective, and we are focused on continuous improvement and deeper collaboration with Prince George's County Public Schools to reach even higher heights together. We are deeply proud of the strong partnerships we've built with our families, our community, and with PGCPS. And with even greater collaboration and teamwork, I believe we can set a new standard, not just for the charter schools, but for public education in Prince George's County. As a parent, I've watched my own children flourish here, growing confident, financially literate, and intellectually curious young people. As a co-founder, I've watched our team fight for and build something truly transformational. And as a county resident, I know this school is a source of pride and promise for our community. So today I ask for your support. Vote yes on our charter renewal. Let's continue this bold, necessary work together, and let's keep building the kind of future our children not only deserve, but are already proving is possible. Thank you for your time.
Shamari James, Individual Equity Now, Legends Public Charter.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Shamari Akil James of Equity Now, Inc., and co-founder of Legends Public Charter School. First off, I want to thank you, sincerely thank you, for your leadership and your commitment to equity, access, and public school choice. Your support has allowed schools like Legends to become beacons of opportunity and innovation for families across Prince George's County Public School System. This is not about me, this is about Legends Charter School. However, this work is deeply personal for me. As a child, I attended multiple schools, including alternative schools. Unfortunately, I earned the name kicked out, from kindergarten all the way through. However, I've experienced those systems from every single angle, and I know what it feels like to be overlooked, underestimated, and passed over. That journey shaped who I am today, and it's why I'm committed to making Legends a place of belonging, academic excellence, and transformation. I know how to reach children of all walks of life because I was a part of all of those walks of life. At Legends, we're not just teaching academics, we're teaching life. We are the only school in the state of Maryland offering a full financial education curriculum starting in kindergarten. Our students are learning how to budget, save, invest, and build wealth, and they're bringing those lessons home. True story. Parents tell us their children are teaching them how to open savings accounts, talk about credit, and dream bigger. We're teaching our scholars what it means to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. However, some individuals don't have boots, so we're teaching them how to build their own. Because the one thing that we know, Superman is not coming to save us. Tonight, I respectfully urge you to vote in support of our charter renewal, not just because we meet the standard, but because Legends represents what's possible when innovation, equity, and academic excellence lead the way. Legends is who they are and what they will be. Thank you.
Mike Lett. I'll call again, Mike Lett. Okay, moving on, Pat Fletcher. Gary Cameron, individual, Legends Public Charter School.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Gary Cameron, and I'm here to share a heartfelt appreciation for Legends Charter School and the profound impact it has had on my son, who has been a proud scholar since their school has opened. As a parent, I can't express enough how refreshing it is to ask my son about his day at school and hear him respond with genuine excitement about every single class. Gone are the days of the typical middle school response of, good. Instead, he enthusiastically shares stories about his favorite subject, financial literacy. As a parent, that really resonates with me. It gives me confidence knowing that he is learning valuable skills that will empower him in the future, skills that will help him navigate life without having to come for me for money later on. As a middle school administrator myself, I often reflect on how I can inspire my own scholars to go home with that same level of confidence and enthusiasm about their educational experience. When I walk into Legends Charter School, I can't help but look for ideas and practices I can steal to bring back to my own school community. The palpable culture of love and support is evident, but it's also the academic rigor that truly stands out. The scholars at Legends Charter School are engaging with challenging content that encourages them to grapple with complex ideas, preparing them not only for high school, but also for college and their future career choices. Seeing my son thrive at Legends Charter School has been a testament to the nurturing environment they provide. He has blossomed from a shy child into someone who lights up the dance floor at school events, fully engaged in enjoying the friendships he has built, friendships that extend beyond the school walls and into our community. One of the things I value most about Legends Charter School is the sense of community and the love that is palpable when you walk through the doors. I often joke with the staff when they play Brighter Day by Bill Withers, but the truth is every time I enter that building, I feel reassured that my son's future and all the other scholars are bright. I urge you to grant Legends Charter School their renewal license so they can continue their incredible work and brighten their lives and change generations. Together, let's ensure that more students can experience the love, learning, and growth that my son has enjoyed. Thank you for your time.
Carol Moses.
Good evening. I am Carol Moses, and I stand in support of the appointment of Dr. Sean Joseph as our interim superintendent. Dr. Joseph brings with him experience, a national reputation for transformative leadership, and a heartfelt commitment to educational equity and excellence. Throughout his career, he has demonstrated a clear ability to lead with vision, communicate with transparency, and inspire real progress in the districts he has served. Our community and our schools need steady, experienced leadership during this time of transition, and I can think of no one more capable of guiding us forward. His proven track record of raising student achievement, supporting educators, and fostering inclusive school environments speaks for itself. Dr. Joseph doesn't just lead with data. He leads with a heart. He listens to students, families, and educators. He understands the importance of building trust while making hard decisions. And he has always kept student success at the center of every initiative. I support his appointment as interim superintendent and believe his leadership will serve our district well during this pivotal time. Thank you.
Tanisha Dixon, individual, Legends Public Charter School.
Good evening, board members. My name is Tanisha Dixon, and I proudly serve as the principal of Legends Charter School, where 900 scholars and their families embody what it means to learn, lead, and liberate in the heart of the gorgeous Prince George's County and the PGCPS system. At Legends, we learn not just to pass a test, but to unlock a future. This year, 77% of our kinder through second grade scholars ended the year reading on or above grade level. In kindergarten alone, students moved from 28% to 47% above benchmark, while those well below benchmark dropped by more than half. In math, our kindergarten through third grade scholars grew from just 12% proficiency at the start of the year to 51% by year's end. This is what it means to learn with urgency, equity, and joy. At Legends, we lead not in theory, but in practice. Our inaugural Student Government Association continued our school's legacy of civic engagement by attending Advocacy Day in Annapolis, where they met with state leaders, visited the State House, and participated in live delegation meetings. Our scholars are not just preparing to lead tomorrow, they are leading right now. And at Legends, we liberate, because we know that true education is freedom work. Through our Legends Fellows program, we offer young adults ages 18 to 25 a meaningful service experience and a direct pathway into education, helping to build a diverse and community-rooted educator pipeline. We integrate financial education into every grade level, open investment accounts for our students, and remain steadfast in our mission to close the generational wealth gap. As Mary Church Terrell taught us, we lift as we climb. And as Mary McLeod Bethune proclaimed, the whole world opened to me when I learned to read. At Legends Charter School, we are climbing with every scholar. We are learning, we are leading, and yes, we are liberating. With your continued support, we will keep doing the work our children and our country deserve. We will ensure every child has the opportunity to learn deeply and confidently, to lead boldly and unapologetically, and to be liberated through an education that honors their brilliance, builds their future, and breaks generational barriers. Together, we are not just renewing a charter, we are renewing a commitment to possibility, purpose, and power for every scholar we serve. Thank you.
Brittany Woods, individual, speaking on the CEO, which is the superintendent. Tiffany Anderson Calvin, individual, speaking on appearing to support the interim superintendent. Oh, I thought she was coming down here. All right, Dominic Carter. Justin DeVos.
Good evening. Good evening, board members and respected leaders. My name is Justin DeVos, and I serve as the Director of Financial Education for Equity Now, which also serves as the program direction for Legends Charter School. I just want to take a moment to speak with clarity and conviction. Legends Charter School is not just a school, it is a movement. A place where children don't survive, but they thrive. Where they walk with curiosity and walk with confidence and character. I've seen it with my own eyes, with my son Ashton standing next to me, who is a rising 5th grader and who has started at Legends during the pandemic in 2020. Our children are mastering math, decoding literature, and yes, learning financial education. You show me another elementary student that can explain a stock, define a budget, or break down compound interest, and I'll show you a legendary scholar leading the way. We're not just teaching academics, we're building legacies. This school, our school, has created a culture of excellence rooted in love, discipline, and liberation. You walk through our halls and you feel it in your chest, a sense of pride. You see it in the way our students carry themselves. You hear it in their voice when they present. You sense it in the deep relationships that are shared between educators and families. Legends believes in the whole child. That's why we embed financial education from the ground up. We're not just preparing our children for the next grade level, we're preparing them for generational wealth, ownership, and economic freedom. We all know the numbers, test scores, attendance, parental engagement, but the real data is the soul of Legends is in the stories. The student who opened their first investment account at age 8, the young man who told his mother he wants to buy a house one day because that's what he learned in class. This is the work, this is the mission, this is Legends. So to the board I say, please renew this charter, because what happens inside Legends changes what's possible outside of it. Let's not just maintain the momentum, let's multiply it. Let's keep building Legends one scholar at a time, because heroes get remembered, but legends never die. Thank you.
We received 4 public comments, all which have been uploaded to board docs for viewing. The written comments will continue to be uploaded to board docs as they are received. Right now, the 4 written comments were from Anita Williams, Marvin Burton Jr., Sherman Elgood, Dr. Lynn Strange. And there was 1 pre-recorded video. Thank you for all who commented tonight. Now for a report of the superintendent. At this time, the chair would like to present a gift of appreciation to Mr. Miller House in recognition of his leadership and service. The chair asks Dr. Coleman, the Chief Operating Officer, to kindly accept this gift on his behalf. Thank you. All right, report of the committees. The chair now recognizes Board Member Moss of the Chair and Policy and Governance Committee.
Thank you, Chair Jackson. There are 2 things we have from Policy and Governance tonight. We have a set of policies that we want to approve. And then tonight we will announce that we will have our legislative day where we'll bring in our delegates and senators and county council members on September 19th. Board Member Walker is chairing and taking leadership of that. I think she'll have a comment at the end of my policies here, but I'll start with our policies for second consideration and enactment. In accordance with Board Policy 8100, Policy Development, the following policies are for board consideration tonight, and there are 12 of them. Policy 0111, the Sustainability Plan. Policy 0123, Artificial Intelligence. Policy 0124, E-Rate Management. Policy 3100, Investments. Policy 3120, Debt Management. Policy 3160, transfer of funds. Policy 4113, community involvement in principal selection process. Policy 4135, activities, organizations, political. Policy 5111, legal age of admission. Policy 5150, student involvement, rights and responsibilities. And then we have two policies for recension tonight. The first one being Policy 5206, yearbooks and photographs, and then Policy 9366, order of business, parliamentary procedures. That policy is being rescinded. I'll defer to my colleague, Board Member Walker, to speak about our upcoming legislative day in September.
Hello, everyone. We are beyond excited to come back again once more with Legislative Day. For all of you all who don't know, we as a board in policy and governance work really hard with our legislative partners in order to talk about priorities, not only with PGCPS, their platform, but also with the Board of Education. So I wanted to thank Chief of Staff Quincy Boyd for her thoughts around our Legislative Day. We look forward to continuing to partner with PGCPS. On September 19th will be that date. More will come, but this is a date where we get together not only with PGCPS, but with our board to really work with our legislators in advance for the priorities of our school system and how we're looking for advocacy. We want to, and thanks in advance for all of you all in here tonight and our other parents who are looking on that are going to help us with this advocacy as well as in the community. So we look forward to getting back to you when we pulled it all together. And if there are any priorities that you all have for overall education when it comes to bills and legislation, please be sure to send that in or register for public comment with Policy and Governance. Thanks so much, Chair.
Thank you, Chair Jackson. That concludes our public comments.
It's been a long night, brother. I know.
Concludes our
I'm right here
report
with
from the
you,
Policy
man.
and Governance Committee.
Yeah, so without objection, I would like to accept the recommendations of the Policy and Governance Committee by Dr. Moss. Board Member Brown.
Thank you so much. I did see that there were two, this is just for edification purposes, there were two policies that were being rescinded. One in particular, order of business parliamentary procedures. Can you talk about why that's being rescinded? Are we having another policy that's going to be in place for it? Thank you.
Dr. Moss.
So essentially, when you state that policy, it was duplicative of work that is already across our board policies. And it's common understanding that a board uses Robert's Rules of Orders procedure. And so in order to clean up our policy documents, that is one of the policies that we rescinded as a committee. That does not mean we don't follow Robert's Rules of Order for the general public.
Does that complete your comments, Ms. Brown? All right, thank you. Without objection, we would like to accept the recommendations by the Policy and Governance Committee. The motion carries. Next committee is the Disabilities Issue Advisory Board report. Board Member Brown.
Yes, thank you. Because I'm just the liaison, I did want the chair or the vice chair to present on behalf of their advisory board. So Ms. Teresa Smith, please. Thank you so much.
Point of order real quick, Mr. Chairman. It would be good to see the other committee members who are on it. I know Ms. Teresa has a band. She probably would want them there, so it'd be good to see some of them who are in the room too, to join her behind her.
Yeah.
They're just such an amazing group.
That's fine. If y'all want to crowd around her at the podium so we can recognize y'all. Matter of fact, let's give them a round of applause as well.
Yes, my apologies. I couldn't see all the way over there.
Good evening, everyone. If I could just take a moment, this is Chair Blackwell. This is Ms. Brittany Patrick. She was our leader over Policy 1700 Subcommittee. And then this is Ms. Vickery, who has been on our exec board for this term. So we are grateful for their work. All right, we can get started. So good evening, Chair, Interim Superintendent, and board members. On behalf of the Disability Issues Advisory Board, thank you for the opportunity to present. I am Teresa Smith, Vice Chair, and as I share our preliminary report today, please know that it's abbreviated, and you all, along with the public, may reference the more detailed document for additional information. DAB reconvened in November 2024, and since then, our members in Districts 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, along with the Department of Special Education and CCAC, have worked diligently to examine key areas outlined in Board Policy 1700. We also could not have achieved our work without the support of our board member liaison and board support staff, so thank you all. This report is the product of months of collaboration, research, and engagement to improve access, equity, and outcomes for individuals with disabilities across PGCPS. The efforts were split between 3 subcommittees in the areas of staffing and operational practices, infrastructure, accessibility, and policy alignment. I will now highlight key recommendations, and we welcome any follow-up discussions regarding the items. Policy and governance. We recommend renaming the board to better reflect our commitment to inclusion, access, and equity with a positive focus on the social model of disability. Suggestions include Advisory Council on Disability Affairs or Advisory Board on Disability Rights. We propose expanding the scope to include key disability issues like IDEA compliance, seclusion restraint practices, and digital accessibility. We recommend flexible reporting timelines, clearer legal references, and staggered appointments to ensure long-term continuity. And lastly, clarification on the distinct role of DIAB and its engagement with CCAC. Please note, we are not in support or even suggesting that the board have any authority over the state and federally mandated CCAC. We seek to have both groups work collaboratively for the benefit of students, families, and community stakeholders. Facilities and accessibility. Our Facilities and New Construction Subcommittee began an inquiry into accessibility compliance. While early findings are promising, further expert consultation is needed to identify specific infrastructure barriers. Therefore, we do request the support of district subject matter experts to help us advance this work. Staffing, HR, and equity. The dedicated aid role must be restructured with better pay, benefits, and training to retain talent and improve support for our most vulnerable students. We urge Human Resources to adopt modern, transparent hiring strategies, especially in today's competitive educational market. From our review of information, there are severe delays in processing reasonable accommodation requests, now averaging over 100 days. DIAB recommends restoring that timeline to 30 days within 6 months and providing principals the autonomy to take interim action. Inclusion and family engagement. Professionals like social workers must be trusted to use their training to support families without unnecessary legal delays. We also ask PGCPS to promote parent volunteering by making fingerprinting more accessible, streamlining verification, and identifying model schools to benchmark from for the development of a guidance document. As I close, there are a few requests. We ask the board to review the detailed report and formally respond by August 31st, 2025, and include any questions or directions for next steps. We also request a meeting with the Policy and Governance Committee and support in creating a cross-reference guide of disability-related policies. We ask that you please address the delays with data collection requests. And lastly, a staff-facing survey regarding ADA should be developed and launched. Thereafter, a subsequent meeting should be held with DIAB to discuss the findings. We would like to thank each one of you for your leadership and for continuing to center disability affairs in the work of this district. This concludes the report for DIAB. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Parent and Community Advisory Council update. Board Member Walker.
Hi, everyone, again. I'm Lolita E. Walker, the PCAC Board Liaison, and the Parent and Community Advisory Council held its final committee meeting of the school year on June 4th, 2025. And during the meeting, elections were conducted, and the newly elected officers are as followed. I just wanted to take the opportunity to say thank you to PCAC. They are an advisory group of volunteers and really have the pulse of the parents in mind as they make recommendations and advisory to not only the board, but also to the superintendent. As of July 1st, the committee chair will be Dolores Millhouse, vice chair Teresa Smith, and the new secretary who was voted in is Ms. Akimbra Lawrence. The council is currently working toward organizing a summer retreat for PCAC members to support their planning and engagement for the upcoming school year, and we look forward to the recommendations and the advisory that they'll give to both the board and to the superintendent. Thank you so much. We can clap. They're doing a great job.
Thank you, Board Member Walker. The chairman recognizes Dr. Coleman for the transportation presentation.
Thank you. If we could have the presentation pulled up. Thank you so much. So good evening, Board Chair Jackson, board members, fellow staff, and members of the public. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to provide a brief update on the Transportation Action Plan. In this presentation, the Director of Transportation and Central Garage, Mr. Kiva Baldwin, and I will walk through the progress we've made this year implementing Phase 1 of the Transportation Action Plan and outline key actions we're launching as we move into Phase 2 next school year. Tonight's presentation focuses on 3 primary goals. First, to provide a snapshot of our results from the 5 Phase 1 recommendations implemented this school year. Second, to introduce the strategic recommendations that make up Phase 2 for implementation in school year 2025-2026. And finally, to provide an overview of the core challenges we're still working to solve and the targeted strategies we're putting in place.
Thank you, Dr. Coleman. Good evening, Board Chair, members of the board. While we've made meaningful strides in streamlining operations and improving our system performance, our seat utilization has increased as we've removed underloaded trips from the schedule. More than 300 trips have been eliminated and over 3,000 stops have been consolidated, creating a leaner and more efficient system. We are phasing in a new parent app. Let me say that one more time. We are phasing in a new parent app. At the same time, we're collaborating with our Safe Passage coordinators to conduct walk zone audits that ensure bus stop safety. While these efforts have helped strengthen our system, our current bus driver fill rate remains at 85%, with 137 full-time equivalent positions still unfilled. Our core challenges. While we've made this progress, we still face 3 primary challenges. First, the high call volumes and the transportation resolution system entries that have created delays in communication and responsiveness to parents. Second, our current technology limits, our ability to make fast, accurate, and substitutions, which affects the reliability of our parent-facing app. And third, we continue to feel the effects of the driver shortage, with 129 routes currently uncovered or doubled up, placing the added strain on our workforce.
To tackle these issues, in addition to our temporary communications staff of 30 positions, we are doubling our permanent communications staff from 9 to 18 full-time positions and adding a dedicated supervisor to better manage the high call volume and the many submitted transportation resolution system requests, especially at the beginning of the school year. We are also investing in additional customer service-focused professional development for our phone bank team to improve the timeliness and tone of staff responses. On the operations side, we're expanding our driver pool by hiring 25 additional non-CDL drivers, increasing the number of available vans from 16 to 36 to expand the flexibility of our routing options, and contracting out certain unique trips. In addition, we are continuing to implement and refine the Phase 1 prioritized recommendations. In addition to workforce improvements, we're focused on technology and process modernization. We are phasing out StopFinder and phasing in a new parent app over the course of next school year that will improve communication and reduce errors tied to manual inputs. This summer, we will participate in a planning meeting to align student program codes and ensure more accurate routing at the start of the school year. We are also partnering with the Division of Monitoring and Accountability and the Division of School Support and Leadership to engage school registrars earlier in the summer registration process, enrollment process, so that we can route students more quickly and accurately. Finally, we're working with Human Resources to explore financial incentives and assigning a dedicated Human Resources partner to transportation to help us move more effectively through the hiring pipeline.
We're also introducing a hub stop pilot program in partnership with the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. This program will serve 3 specialty schools, Overlook Elementary, Maya Angelou French Immersion, and P.E. Williams Elementary, by creating centralized pickup locations at community centers. The goal is to reduce ride times, improve on-time performance, and simplify routing for these programs. The impact that we're proposing for 25-26. Looking ahead at next school year, we're projecting several key impacts. We aim to raise our driver fill rate above 90%, reduce the number of days transportation resolution system entries, remain open by 10%, and fully phase in the new parent app. The rollout of the new parent app will begin with special education trips in the first semester, followed by a broader implementation across all routes in the second semester. These actions position us to deliver a more responsive, efficient, and parent-centered transportation system. With that, we open for any questions.
Board Member Walker. Oh, that's Brown, sorry, Brown.
That's okay. Thank you so much, Chair Jackson, and thank you so much, transportation team. I feel for you all. I did have a couple of questions. So, of course, because I'm a PGCPS parent and the app was not necessarily a successful app in the past, I don't know, maybe 10 years, you're phasing it out and you're going into a new parent app. What is it? When will it be implemented? And what does it actually do?
Good question. So the name of the new parent app is called Chipmunk. Right? It is more user-friendly, where it would allow the parents to actually more accurately track the bus.
And are bus drivers going to be equipped on knowing how to use the app as well? Is that going to be connected to a device? How is that communication going to go through?
So right now, the app does not necessarily correlate with the bus drivers and the equipment on the bus. There's functions that we will be phasing in to do that, to create a more accurate, timely effect. So drivers will learn about the app, but as far as the actual application for bus driver knowledge with it, it will not correlate.
So when is the implementation?
So the implementation will be through the first semester with our special education students.
Got it.
And that allows us to have a smaller subset target to really work out any kinks that we may have, so that second semester, we will fully roll that out with everyone else.
And do you all have a modernization plan for the bus drivers to be able to use?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because the right hand needs to talk to the left, especially when it comes to the transportation. I also had a question about security. I don't know if we're going to be in charge of that because we're going to be merging in with Parks and Rec. What have they discussed about that, or have you all had a conversation regarding security?
Over the hub stops?
That is correct, yes.
Correct. So we're still in discussion. Right now, we are planning stops where the centers are actually open, so there will be staff there, But essentially, the first part of, or the first option is a hub stop where parents can be there waiting on the bus. Some of those sites also offer extra services as a before and after school care that right now that's an opportunity for parents to take advantage of themselves. But those are the opportunities that we're talking to ensure that, number one, it's a safe location for our students, and that we are able to get buses there on a timely manner.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank
I
you
just
so
want to
much.
make sure that I respect the time. Thank you.
Alrighty. So board members, I just want to remind us to keep our comments and responses to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We gotta keep it moving. All right. Board member Amy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Like Board Member Brown, I'm a PGCPS parent. I've had kids on buses for the last decade across PGCPS. So like many others, I've been very frustrated with Stop Finder. I am curious, though, will Stop Finder be available still in the first semester of the year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We will still start the year utilizing Stop Finder.
Okay, great. So we'll have something. We'll hope that it works. How is the tech different, and or what are we doing differently to ensure that Chipmunk doesn't end up with the same issues that Stop Finder has?
And Director Baldwin, if you could just speak to the substitution piece, I think that'll help speak to why this is a superior solution.
So that's a good point. So right now, with the Stop Finder app and our reality, we have to assign multiple trips to one bus for a tier time. Currently, the app cannot correlate the GPS events to, say, the 4 individual trips that we have assigned to that bus. So even though you will see that start time on that app, you won't see the bus if there are multiple trips. That's been our deficiency utilizing fully operational with the Stop Finder app. What the new app will allow through the routing system attached to it is to separate that out. So you will not know but what you see in terms of the bus and your trip coming to your stop. We will still have a sort of form of the geo alerts that are there, but as far as an operational system in the background, much more fluid, much accurate, so that you, as the parent facing, you see what you need to see. You see that bus, you see it tracking, you see it when it hit the stop.
That sounds great. And I'll just also commend the partnerships with MNCPPC to have these hub stops at Park and Rec buildings. I think that's a phenomenal idea, and I look forward to supporting that and hopefully growing it. And then I also want to commend the concept of using vans for, smaller trips, which then allows us more flexibility in hiring because the CDL license is not required. So I just want to commend those 2 things also. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Board Member Olivo. Next up, we have Board Member Briggs. You just hit me. Go ahead and go.
All right, thank you, Chair Jackson. I want to say first, thank you, Dr. Coleman and team, for the presentation and also taking action on the hub spots. I know that this was something you heard from the community, and you've taken steps to address that, and so I think that's definitely appreciated. I wanted to know really quickly, have parents in the community been engaged in any way in the changes that are slated to be implemented? And then if you could just briefly discuss how, if so.
Yes, sir. So when we have proposed a conversation with the hub stops, we've talked to our PCAT. We've talked to some of our, we talked with our parent engagement specialists and talked with them about engaging with their families. We created a survey with the help of our data monitoring team. We pushed that out to the schools affected that we targeted with the hub stop to gather that information, just so that we have an idea. And that's why this pilot hub program, we're labeling it as a pilot, because we did want to gather the input from our families to see how it felt. And so we have that information, and we're taking that and making our steps.
And in addition to that, board member, we will be continuing those community engagements so we can get real-time feedback as we move through the summer and into the fall.
Okay, thank you for that. And I just want to clarify, so I hear you to be saying, I'm going to move to the next question, but I hear you to be saying that maybe you had a targeted question that you were posing to the community. Was there an opportunity for them to share their concerns kind of broadly about, I know I receive a lot of calls and emails about various things. So I just want to make sure that there was a comprehensive and robust process with the community.
Yes, through the survey process, parents were able to give feedback about the HubStop program that we pushed out, and so we have that collected as well.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question is, could you elaborate on the steps for aligning with students' routes? I know you talked about that happening over the summer. If you could just clarify a bit more what exactly that means.
So I think you're speaking to the specialty program coding that we talked about, the meetings that we're going to have this summer?
Yes.
So one of the things that we need to verify that we learned last year are the specialty program codes for students who go to schools that are not their boundary program. And so we work with monitoring and accountability as well as each school site to make certain that we will do that this summer, to make certain that every specialty program code is verified so that by the time it gets to our transportation scheduling and routing team, they can schedule the students more efficiently.
Thank you, Dr. Coleman. Board Member Goins McCants.
Thank you, Chair and Chief Coleman and your entire team for giving us this presentation tonight. Most of my questions have been already asked by my fellow board members. I just wanted to ask specifically about the bus planner and how that's going to integrate with Chipmunk and the transition between Stop Finder and Chipmunk.
Right. So Bus Planner is the operation system that houses Chipmunk. They house our GPS system and they will house our routing system. So in the background, our team of routers and schedulers will be building the stops, building the routes that then affect the parent app. And so Bus Planner, again, is the organization.
Yes.
And so what's important to note is that we will be operating in 2 routing systems over the course of next year. We are still going to be using TransFinder, which partners with StopFinder. We're going to integrate Bus Planner that utilizes Chipmunk as the parent app. Because we are so large and complex, it would be irresponsible for us to make a shift without first working it out with a backup as a system. So we're going to be operating out of both, and that's why the phased approach.
So for clarity, we're going to have both of them, if this procurement is approved tonight, we're going to have both of them running simultaneously, phasing in to fully having Chipmunk operational second semester.
That is correct. Most of our families will start the year in StopFinder under TransFinder. We are going to move to implement Bus Planner with the Chipmunk parent app in the first semester only for our special education students. Make sure that the routing side is sound, make sure that the app is working as needed, and then we'll integrate the majority of our families into the new routing system and parent app second semester.
I know there's limited time. We're really excited about this, but just wanting to make sure that we have a fully robust plan to make sure all parents are notified about this second semester change, because that's going to be a huge drop off in time for the new system.
Absolutely.
Dr. Moss.
Yeah, thank you so much. My first board meeting, this is exciting because you probably remember this. My first board meeting, I said stop finding children a long time ago. So I'm pretty excited about this change taking place because of some of our challenges with Stop Finder. Now Chipmunk is an interesting name, and I hope that this app works just as fast as Chipmunk moves. That's the only thing that we can hope. But I do want to underscore the importance of ensuring that we have training sites set up for parents to be able to use this. A number of the emails that I've received just in my short 6 months on the board have really been about technicalities, and I know this is what this effort is, to be able to change some of those technical glitches that we are having, but I hope we have a robust plan to do that. The second question I want is a bit of a quandary for me, in that I've got one school who would like to be a pilot for this hub, and I got another school wondering, why am I a pilot for this school? So I'm going to represent both of their interests, and could you all talk a bit about the methodology that went into selecting those schools? That'll be my first question.
Yeah. simply the boundaries of these schools. We have the specialty schools I mentioned have tremendous boundaries that pretty much take up half the county. So if we're talking about 214 Central Avenue as a medium point, their boundaries go from 214 North to Laurel and 214 South down to Akakeet.
Gotcha.
And so right now, that is a tremendous strain on our transportation system in trying to get those kids to school in a timely manner. So this was one of the thought process to be able to cut down some of the stops so that we can get there in a timely manner and get these kids to school on time.
Now, one other question I have in the balance of my time. Parking Planet has way more money than we do here in PGCPS. Are they going to absorb the cost of this, and are they going to lace this with after-school programs for our kids?
That is the conversation that we are still having right now.
The A part or the B part, they're going to pay for it?
Both.
Okay.
I don't think we've talked about the conversation of payment just yet.
Yeah, I really want to push that. I get a tax bill, and I got a Parking Planet line item on it, so I'd hope they take up some of the cost and help us out here. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And let me say this. Thank you all so much for your work. I wasn't on the board when they were getting thousands of emails, but my colleagues tell me they have reduced tremendously. So I just want to thank you all for your leadership and the tremendous work that you all have done to really get us to this place. I can't say thank you enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Member Walker?
Yes, thank you so much. Luckily, I'm almost last, so you've answered a lot of them. But I really wanted to talk a little bit about training and communication, which are going to be extremely important, especially when we're working in dual systems. So the first, I wanted to confirm that there'll be an FAQ about a number of things you've talked about today, including that you're starting with a pilot and the special needs population, and the reason for that. Which you've explained tonight. But the second piece I wanted to talk about is because you're starting small with the special needs population specifically, I just wanted to double check that you're going to go back and look at the concerns that have been posed just with buses for special needs, pickup times, concerns that's happened that we've gotten, and if you could just make sure that that is taken into consideration as you all do this pilot, that'll be amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thinking all of these are yeses, so just pop in if none of them are yeses, okay?
It's a yes, because that's part of why we wanted to start with our special needs, most vulnerable populations with this improvement.
Perfect, thank you so much. And then I also wanted to talk about hubs. So can you confirm that before the hubs, because there are gonna be hubs, the 3 that you talked about, that you'll have early walks to those, just make sure that folks are the special needs population that you're going to be working with, or wherever the hubs are going to be, that you're going to do some prior training to that with the parents of those scholars?
Yes, that is our plan. We're still reviewing with safety and security of those sites, targeted sites, to ensure that there's safe passage from the whole gamut. So training is coming as well.
Excellent. When we did Stop Finder, we also had a pilot with some board members just to make sure that we could go through the system and give you all any feedback up front. If we can make sure that we plug that in as well, that'll be super helpful, especially us that have parents. That'll be amazing.
Absolutely.
I'll sign up for that already, like I did last time. And then the last piece is for this. Look, we got through all my questions. The last piece is with the second rollout of the second quarter, that we're going to have some training and communication on that as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. And FAQs, because I still have 21 seconds, you'll go ahead and send those out so we can get it out to our communities, correct? It's going in my next newsletter, so let's just make sure we have those. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and one of the added benefits to Chipmunk over Stop Finder is also the fact that parents are no longer going to have to set geo alerts manually. It will be automatically built into the system, because despite our best efforts, it just was difficult for families to navigate that process.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. On behalf of the superintendent, the chair presents the consent agenda items 15.1 through 15.13, seeing that 15.14, 15.15, 15.16, and 15.17 has been moved to general orders for later discussion. Thank you. Board members, would you like to pull any other items for discussion under general orders? Board Member Brown?
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, just real quick, item 15.6, the non-resident tuition rates. I did see in the documents that the price went up. Can somebody kind of discuss that, or can we just pull it for, yeah?
Item needs to be pulled.
Hold on one
More
moment.
discussion?
I know that we just had a quick
Oh,
technical
sorry.
glitch. Are we offline? Are we good to go? Yeah, we're going to pause until it gets back online. It's a requirement. We're back. We're back, everybody. Spin. Board members, would you like to pull any of the other items for the discussion of the general orders? Okay. If there is no objection, the consent agenda items 15.1 through 15.13 will be adopted. All right, the motion carries. All right, now moving on to unfinished business. There's no unfinished business. Now moving to 17.0 to recognize the items that we pulled from the consent agenda. If there is no objection, I would like to actually, what was that? So we're going to be recording at the same time, and we consulted with legal counsel, and they said it's okay to proceed as long as we record and it can be posted afterwards due to the technological difficulty. So we're in good standings according to our legal teams, both from the administrative side and also from the Board of Education side. We're just one PGCPS. And so with that being said, without objection, just because of the technological difficulties, I was hoping that we can move item 15.17 to the top, just so we can make sure we get it done before any other technological difficulties happen. Is there any objection? Yeah, that's the interim contract. We're going to, yeah, we're going to do. Yep. So you want to make the motion? Go for it, I'm ready.
Mr. Chair, on item 15.17, the interim superintendent's contract, I move at this time for approval of the interim superintendent's contract for Dr. Sean Joseph.
Be moved to the front. We're still going to present it. We just moved it to the front.
Yeah.
Okay. Move it to the front. Is there any objection? No. Okay. We'll move 15.17 to the first item on the general orders list. So the chair recognizes Dr. Coleman to present. I'm sorry, Mr. Horn. Excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to point out that I understand from the board members that they've received some comments about the process that took place with the interim superintendent. I wanted to point out that this situation is set forth in the Maryland Education Annotated Code, Section 4-201.1, which discusses the process that takes place when you have a vacancy in the superintendent's position. And in that particular case, as we've had here, we had the county executive make a recommendation and the board to vote on the superintendent in the interim position as set forth by the statute. As the statute says, the appointment must be confirmed by the state superintendent, and the appointment, the interim contemplates the appointment through July 1st, and then from July 1st through June 30th of 2026. There was a contract that was proposed, and the board has the ability to vote on that to support or not support the contract.
Thank you so much, Arthur Horn. And so what I did want to add is a bit of context around, the way we were moving so fast. So between the separation of the previous superintendent and the end of the school year, I think it was like about 8 days, roughly 8 days or so. And so we didn't have a superintendent in place, an interim superintendent in place. So Dr. Coleman, as the chief operating officer, the highest ranking official, or cabinet member in PGCPS, has led the charge on day-to-day operations. So there was no interim superintendent in place. So tonight, What we had to do is get a contract in place that can essentially bridge the gap between now, today, and the 30th because of the fiscal. We need signatures for different financial documents and different documentation that need authority from the superintendent. So we need a superintendent in place from today until the 30th that can sign all of the documentation, needing that signature. And then we also need a contract, the same contract was the addendum, so we need the primary contract to be able to take care of from July 1st until June 30th for 2026. So I just wanted to make that clear. And then I also wanted to allow Dr. Coleman to speak as well.
Yeah, thank you, Board Chair Jackson. And just to that point, around that period while we do not have an interim superintendent, there is a significant and growing operational impact to our school district during this intermediate period. This absence impedes our staff from exercising the fiscal authority needed to move critical work forward. As a few examples, this impact extends to our ability to execute purchase requisitions and contracts to support critically important capital improvement projects and transportation improvements that we just spoke of. This impact also extends to approvals needed for the school system budget and finances, just for a few examples.
Thank you so much, Dr. Coleman. Board members, do we have any questions? All righty. Dr. Moss?
I do want to clarify for the public what we're voting on here, and you can correct me, Mr. Chair, but what we are voting on now is the contract. The board has already voted to appoint the superintendent as the interim superintendent in the 4-day phase between now and the 31st, and the board has already voted to appoint the superintendent for a year. This scope and this vote for the rest of tonight is relative to the interim superintendent's contract. Is that correct? I just want to make sure the public is clear about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 10. Board Member Boozer Struthers?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair. I'm going to speak to why I'll be abstaining from this vote for the interim superintendent contract for the next year. My vote will not be a yes or no because this is not solely about the person named in the contract. The voters elected this board to make important policy and budget decisions for the school system and provide oversight of the superintendent. And in this moment, many stakeholders are now learning that the state lawmakers did not return this traditional role of the hiring of a superintendent or interim superintendent to the selected board when the appointed elected hybrid structure was ended on July 1st, 2024, essentially keeping the political power dysfunction intact. And many of our stakeholders are left worried that these politics will continue to impact their children and PGCPS. Once the board passes a motion for the hiring of an interim superintendent for a full year, only we, the board, are held accountable. There has not been an inclusive vetting process for this candidate since the county executive introduced him to the public. The board has not met officially to discuss important questions, such as our philosophy of the role of an interim during this next school year. The board did not consider choices for the interim because this decision was made before we could even get started. And this decision was made for the students, staff, and parents who were denied input. And I wanted to say that the selected board had an opportunity to stand for good governance and not pass this motion tonight, but I would be asking my colleagues to also not look at the good governance decisions put upon us in the short timeline that Dr. Coleman has noted about operations and contracts. So the people of the county expect democratic practices from their elected school board members, and that is the vote. That is why I'm voting this way this evening, because this has not been democratic. So thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Boozer Struthers. I do want to make mention that we did do a background investigation and a financial analysis on Dr. Sean Joseph, which our legal team has a documentation and everything came back clear. So we did do our due diligence as far as like, his integrity and standing with financial and his background history. So next, I do want to recognize Board Member Brown.
Thank you so much, Chair Jackson. I too, along with my colleague, Board Member Pamela Boozer Struthers, will be abstaining from this vote. I do think that Dr. Sean Joseph is a wonderful candidate. I think he's actually a wonderful person. However, the decision was made when the county executive was in the elect position, and protocol was not followed. I am huge when it comes to protocol and policy, and so that was a concern for me. The other concern for me as well is that I just received his contract today, and so I have not been able to have a thorough reading of what exactly he is asking for, though it may be similar to the previous superintendent. Because I am a new person of the board, I need to be able to read and speak to my constituents on that. And so I am not confident to vote, and so I will be abstaining. Thank you.
Board Member Walker.
I will not be abstaining tonight. I will be voting. I think it's imperative, and I know that District 9 expects me to vote a yes or a no. We did just get the contract today. I have had the opportunity to go through the contract. What I will say is that our legal counsel has had the opportunity to present his findings of the key critical areas of the contract, key critical criteria of the contract, and what those things mean. And what I will note is that we are in a situation as a board. Let me just talk about me for District 9 specifically. I'm in a situation as a board member where I know from our chief operating officer that we are at a standstill for a number of contracts, and that does not behoove our children or our scholars. When I take a look at my vote on this board, it is really because our scholars are at the forefront, not politics. And I think that we can fight the politics on the back end, but what we do need is somebody inside of this seat now, and the process to begin for a full-time and a full-term superintendent. And so as I vote tonight, it'll be because I see the future for our children. I think accountability needs to be had inside of this seat, but there's a lot that is on the table for us, for contracts that's not being signed, for things that's not being moved, and that needs to happen now. Now, how we hold him accountable inside of that role, I think, is up to each and every one of us. The year contract, there were a number of questions that were asked by board members, and I thank each of the board members for having this amazing conversation. But what I will say is that it is imperative, in my estimation, that we continue to move forward for our scholars. The betterment of that, hold somebody accountable inside of the role and keep on moving for our scholars. That's so important. Meanwhile, we need to ensure that we are following our processes, and where we're not, to check ourselves, because that means that our processes need to be governed accordingly.
Did I miss any other board members for the first round? Because I have a second round. Okay, Dr. Moss.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. As I preface my previous question to move to the vote, I strongly stand in support of the opportunity to name Dr. Sean Joseph interim superintendent. As someone who has been a teacher and a school principal, when I look at the work this gentleman has done to move math and reading scores, I think that's what we need at this time in our school district. One other nuance I want to talk about of what we face in terms of the law, Maryland state law does not allow you to negotiate a superintendent's contract subsequent to July 1. And so there is a weave here that we have to do. And the second thing I want to line out, there are two code sections in the law. One speaks to what happens when you are preparing to hire a superintendent for 4 years. One speaks to when you are filling an interim vacancy. Those processes are not similar. When you are hiring a superintendent for 4 years, you are expected by the law to go through a full process where you have a committee of 3 individuals. I believe the county exec has laid out she intends to follow that process, and should she not, it's up to the people to hold her accountable to follow the law. But in this process, the relevant code section says that what the county executive is expected to do is appoint an interim. And that is what we're doing today. We're voting on a 1-year contract. And so with the balance of my time, I call previous question to the vote on this item.
Ms. Barton, please call the roll.
Boozer Strother.
Abstain.
Mr. Briggs.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown.
Abstain.
Ms. Goins McCants.
Aye.
Dr. Moss.
Aye.
Ms. Olivo.
Aye.
Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Jackson.
Aye.
We have 6 in the affirmative and 2 abstentions.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 14.14. The chairman recognizes Dr. Coleman to present the consent agenda item 14.14 for approval. No, this is the renewal recommendation for the following public charter schools at College Park Academy. 15.14.
Dr. E. Coleman?
Did we separate them out, or we wanted to put them all, lump them all together? 'Cause
I thought we'd separated them, but certainly, Board Chair, we can just move forward.
Because I have them here as separated as 15.14, then I have 15.15, and then 15.16.
Yeah, so Board Chair,
So-
items 15.1 through 15.17 require board approval. Items 15.9, 15.14, 15.15, 15.16, and 15.17 have been pulled for separate discussion. So we move to approve these items. 15.1, school-based health centers. Okay, thank you.
No. Point of order. Point of clarity. So we approved the 15.1 through 15.13. So now we're,
Hold on, two people.
yeah, -9. So now we're talking about 15.14, the renewal recommendation of the following public charter school for College Park Academy. We're talking about the renewal recommendation for CMIT, Northeast MS and High School, and then we are doing the renewal of Legends Public Charter. So we put them all as separate items.
Thank you. I've moved to approve items 15.14, renewal recommendations for the following public charter schools, College Park Academy. 15.15, renewal recommendations for the following public charter schools, CMIT North, CMIT North Elementary School, CMIT Middle School, and CMIT North High School. 15.16, renewal recommendations for the following public charter schools, Legends Public Charter School.
Right, thank you. Board members, is there any discussion? So how is there no discussion and y'all pulled them from general orders? All right, without objection, you do have a, yeah, those are the charter schools.
Thank you so much.
All
Sorry
right.
about that.
Board Member Walker.
Yes, I did pull the charter schools because I was hoping that our charter school, there you guys are, thank you. I was hoping that you could just share 2.5 minutes on, or the remainder of my time, on the next steps you all are doing for improvements inside of the charter school area. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Board Member Walker. Yes, so one of the things we are looking to have happen in support of renewals next upcoming school year is to start earlier so that we have a longer runway in support of the renewal process. So whereas this, we're looking to begin in as early as September of 2025 school year.
Thank you. There was just a number of questions that I know that I've come through with from charter schools, even some that are going to be renewed tonight for discussion. And I just think it's important for you to be able to have time to talk about some of the wins that you're going to, or improvements you're going to make. You named about 3 of them for us, so maybe you can just talk to those 2 as the additional 2 as an overview. Not to put you on the spot or anything.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Yes, so one of the things that I highlighted here is developing a renewal framework. So we are looking to launch a multi-year process that allows us to work in a collaborative fashion across all stakeholder groups in support of the renewal process. The second thing we're looking to have happen is embracing an opportunity for learning. So we're looking to partner with the National Learning and Professional Development Organization on behalf of improvements across our district and our charter school office. A third thing we're looking to do, we think that we have started this work in reference to communicating and collaborating across not just the charter school office with our operators, but across our district. We're looking to build on the cadence with operators, school leaders, and internal teams. One of the other things we're looking to have happen is to strengthen our cross-district partnerships. And lastly, which is very important, we're looking to realign our renewal and new charter school application timelines.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? Dr. Moss?
Just call a previous question on this item.
We're going to take the vote. The question is, should the Prince George's County Board of Education adopt the agenda items 15.14 through 15.16? Ms. Barton, please take the roll. Take the vote.
Ms. Boozer Strother?
Aye.
Mr. Briggs?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Goins McCants?
Aye.
Mr. John Go?
Aye.
Dr. Moss? Aye. Ms. Olivo?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
We have 9 in the affirmative.
All right, 15.9, the adoption of the FY 2026 Board of Education approved operating budget. Okay, Board Member Zakia Goins McCants.
Thank you so much, Chair Jackson. And there was a very, very long road to get here tonight, and I know there's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of stress. I want to make sure that I am extending a heartfelt thank you to a heartfelt thank you to you, Chief Howell, for all of the things. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye. I know we've had some very tense board meetings, but thank you so much for all of the hard work that you and your team have put into making sure that we had this here tonight, all of the overtime that you all put in, fully understanding all of the issues that you all had in terms of our infrastructure. So I want to make sure publicly that we as a board are thanking you for all of that hard work, all of the extra hours. Given that, Chair, I would like to move that we approve our fiscal year 26 budget.
Thank you. With no objection? So I think we got a couple of lights on. We can't do no objection. So if there's any discussion, let's have it now. So Board Member Boozer Struthers.
Thank you so much. I always think of this moment of the passage of the budget as absolutely defining of who we are, what our values are, and presenting that to the public after this process. I definitely want to give a shout out to our colleague Goins McCants for chairing this process, your first year on the board, not even a full year, to lead us as you did. Grateful for the time that you put in it, because it was extremely difficult this year as we all went to Annapolis to essentially fend off massive cuts in SB 529 that were a broken promise by our state legislature. And then through our collective efforts and around the state, we stopped the worst of that bill, but we haven't stopped it for the next couple of years, and that work continues. Chief Howell, you, of course, had to weather that same difficulty, and through this process, we've seen and heard you very clearly that these aging infrastructure resources to manage a budget that's basically grown over about $1 billion since I've been on this board, that we didn't keep pace. And so our commitment to you to solve those issues. But, you know, again, our work is not done. The legislative session must be able to cover increases in our budget. Those final increases will be known later when there is a contract with PGCEA, and we have to show up together to ensure that our teachers get what they deserve. Thank you.
Board Member Brown.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair Jackson. I had a question. Did we not receive any federal funding? I just want clarity on that.
Yes, we do receive federal funding. We have quite a few entitlement grants. Obviously, our budget is going through changes as we move into fiscal year 26, so our funding levels are going down on a federal basis, and then, of course, we have the runoff or the expiring of our COVID relief grants, but we do have federal funding.
So the federal funding, if I'm reading this chart right, it went down over $4 million?
That's one component. We had quite a few decreases in federal funding, in excess of $4 million.
And what type of federal funding did we actually receive? Just whether it's grants, whether it's, those
we
type of
receive
things.
very little unrestricted federal funding. The majority of our federal funding is tied to restricted funds to our grants. So all of our entitlement grants, Title I through Title IV. We have our special education grants, which are, and much of the federal funding that we do receive is passed through to the state down to us. But we do receive a substantial amount of federal funding.
Okay, excellent. And then for, hypothetically speaking, in the event our restricted funds are not being able to cover things like special education, the blueprint, are we going to be liberal in using our unrestricted funds to cover that?
Well, we do have a substantial amount of our unrestricted budget that also covers special education as well. So the grant funding that we do have is very specific to our specific needs and specific allowable activities and costs. And so that is what is typically covered on those grants. But a substantial portion of our unrestricted budget also covers various activities and resources and operations of the district as well.
And have we received a reconciled budget yet?
We have received the approved budget from the county, which was transmitted back to us at the beginning of June, and we have then reconciled the budget that's before you today with the budget that was submitted by the county, and that's what you see in the reconciliation section of the board action summary that sort of outlines where we were in the requested budget and where we are now in the approved budget.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hopefully soon approved budget.
Thank you. Board Member Walker.
Thank you so much. Board members, I still remain concerned at the board positions that was moved with amendments, particularly because it is a very difficult time fiscally of what we're hearing right now. And I just think that we should really challenge ourselves to look at where we're spending our money inside of this budget. Also, we see that blueprint dollars have gone down, if I'm reading this correctly, $3.6 million reduction in the local share of blueprint funding for foundation. We can go on and on. I know that we have a number of things that we're looking at. The council has already sent it to us, but what might be value added, and thank you for giving us this summary, really is to see the breakdown of where some of our costs are, whether it's the board office or other areas where we can also assist. And I say this only because I haven't seen a total reconciled budget as of yet. I do see this, which I can make some determinations on tonight, and I will. But I just want to encourage board members to really think about the money that we're spending, especially when we know that we also are hearing from our teachers and contracts and where other money can be filtered throughout our little budget that we do have. Thank you.
Is that number 8? Is that you, Amy, or Robin? Okay. So round 2, I guess, is Dr. Moss.
This is round 1 still.
Okay.
I won't have a round 2, though. So I do want to, we've acknowledged Chief Howell, and I've gotten on her nerves about this, asking all my questions. But I believe if Ms. Howell had a moment to talk, she would also recognize Siobhan, who is her sidekick in all of this. And so I want to make sure we honor and recognize you for your work. These folks, I sent an email on Friday, and they somehow responded on Saturday, and we're at a meeting on Monday to help parents in District 7 understand and process the budget, and stayed up late hours. I literally asked Ms. Howell, are you not ready to go to sleep now? When I walked over a few minutes ago. So we have really good folks who are doing hard work to make sure our budget is there. But I'd also be remiss if I didn't talk about the fact that this budget was built under some updated revenue assumptions that went in the opposite direction. We expected the county reduced $6.5 million in our contribution for 3 major entities in PGCPS. And the county said they were not going to fund that, which means we have to take those dollars from other places to do this work. One being the Office of Integrity and Compliance, the Office of Sustainability and Resilience, and the maintenance share of our retention fund. So, I mean, we did lose money, and so we did have to tighten our belts. We lost $3.6 million in local share for blueprint funding as it relates to the foundation. As one of my colleagues shared with you, we were in Annapolis. I'd also be a bad board member if I didn't tell you that if you just read the local newspaper, we're seeing huge revenue declines in the state, and the state is having to make hard choices. And so we will need to be on the front lines come next year to defend our state revenue. And so while we're excited tonight that we're putting forth a $3 million budget, and we didn't have to lay people off and do any of that work because these folks did the hard work of finding cuts inside of the district, if we're not advocates for funding and to protect and defend the blueprint, then we may be in a different place next year. And so I would encourage you, we have elections coming up, hold folks accountable for supporting our school system, our public school system. And then finally, I must do this. I've made a commitment to do it to the former chair of this board. No matter what anybody tells you, Prince George's County doesn't get 62% of the county's budget. We in fact get 51%, and if you do the math a little bit more, we actually get 48% because it goes to the community college and other education initiatives. So we do not get 62% of the county's budget, but we are happy for the 48% that we get. Thank you again, and I'm excited about this budget, and my colleagues, I hope we'll pass it unanimously.
All right. Ms. Barton, please call the vote.
Ms. Boozer-Strother?
Aye.
Mr. Briggs?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Goins-McCants?
Aye.
Mr. Jongo?
Aye.
Dr. Moss?
Aye.
Ms. Olivo?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
You have 9 ayes.
Motion carries. Great work. All right, moving on to new business. The chair recognizes Board Member Jongo.
Okay. I do want to acknowledge the time. It is 10:15 p.m. and I'm gonna make this quick because I do kind of have like a couple. Of course, I want to acknowledge again that the class of 2025 is the biggest graduating class in the U.S. with 3.9 million graduates. So I just want to first say that, we also had a really great amount of graduates here in Prince George's County. One thing that I did get a lot of concerns about was the commencement tickets for our students. There was about, we get 6 this year, so I was trying to say we might get 6, but actually, since I graduated, we did get 6. And I do want to, make sure that our students have everybody at the table with them, that help them in their careers as students. So with that being said, I move that the Board of Education or PGCPS increase the number of tickets provided to each student for PGCPS commencement ceremonies from 6 to 10.
Thank you. While I appreciate that motion, I'm sorry, does that conclude your comment?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that motion. Because it wasn't on the agenda, I can't add it to the new business section, but what I will do is note it for the next upcoming agenda, and we will definitely get it done, and we will let everybody know that was because of our smile. Jamal John, go. We're going to put it up there, yeah.
If that's the case, am I able to say the...
Go ahead, say all of them.
I'm just gonna say all of them right now.
Put it on the record.
So, I also move that the Board of Education amend Board Policy 9271, which is the student member of the board, to include language granting the student member of the board the opportunity to deliver remarks at the Prince George's County Public Schools system-wide commencement ceremonies. Our student member board works really hard, not just me, but the people who pass and the ones in the future. So I do want to give them the chance to be able to express their remarks to their graduating class. Okay. Next one. This is a little bit more, I guess you could say. I want to be able to see the most, I want our students to leave this county with the most amount of knowledge and opportunities that they could get while they're here. So with that being said, I move that the Board of Education or the Superintendent's Office to conduct a comprehensive review of the current grading system to explore potential improvements and adjustments. I don't want our students just to graduate. Of course, I want them to graduate, but I want them to, leave here with just learning with the most amount of experience that they can get, because we do learn a lot here, and it's a lot that I will be taking with me to college. So I know that I want our students to really truly be able to, get the most experience out of that. And then the last thing is that it's about our internet filtration system. Personally, of course, as a student, I get to see both sides of Content Keeper as a staff and a student. Of course, there's a difference, and there's supposed to be a difference. But I definitely have heard a lot of concerns about a lot of really great educational sites be blocked. And, I don't want to say it's a long process to get them unblocked, but it's definitely something that, I think that as a county or as a Board of Education, we can be able to, kind of push a better filtration system into it, so that we're able to, not put too much stress on the IT department, giving them a lot of, requests to unblock sites, to, go through sites again. So again, I move that the Board of Education start looking for a more modern and effective internet filtration system for PGCPS with appropriate safeguards to support both students and instructional access. And that's it for my new business.
All right. I do want to recognize Board Member Walker.
Thank you so much, and this will be short for the folks that are still here. Because I was unable to make the last executive board meeting just during the scheduling, I did want to recognize and thank Mr. House. I don't even know if he's watching tonight, but really just thank him for his tireless work as superintendent of PGCPS. We've had wins, collaborations, impact, and openness, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to publicly say thank you, if you're watching, for the work that you did do for Prince George's County Public Schools, and your imprint will continue to be here in Prince George's County. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Board Member Walker. We We want to thank you all for joining us tonight for tonight's meeting. To our online viewers, if you can see us still, I don't know. Thank you for watching. On behalf of the board, have a great summer. There being no further business, the time is now 10:20. And the June 26th, well, we've been getting out at 9 o'clock for most of the year, so I mean, we were long overdue for the last meeting, so.
Excuse me, Chairman.
June 20, excuse me?
I'm sorry, did Mr. Junko have a motion on the floor?
No, yeah, what, but it couldn't, yes, we're gonna put it on the agenda for next time, because it wasn't new business.
Thank you.
Okay. And June 26, 2025, Prince George's County Board of Education meeting is adjourned. Thank you.